maybe we'll try um, a second bite at the apple or the cherry here, and maybe remember that my goddamn headphones need to have the mic mute setting switched off before I actually do anything on this computer. Because I swear to God, the amount of times I've done that and thought that I've absolutely twatted my headphones is unreal. It is honestly out of this world. But some of you have probably already seen me miming the first video. So yeah, apologies, apologies about that. But I was gonna leave it till tomorrow because I was just like, there's no goddamn way that I'll just do a 20-minute of me just and nothing actually being said. It's just crazy, genuinely crazy. But I was just like, screw it, soldier on, just get it done, get it sorted, get it out the way, and get it out there on the internet. Get it shared to the people that want to see, that want to know what I think about various things. And yes, peddle the content, people. Peddle the content. Anyways, where was I? Where was I? Wow, Fenerbahce away Thursday night. It's a tough defensive test for Manchester United. Follow on from the Brentford game. Similar idea in terms of passive play in which both teams play, and Fenerbahce, a lot of people think not an opposition to trouble Manchester United in any scenario. However, Fenerbahce do possess players that can hurt people, that can hurt teams. If they turn up and are on their game, they will be much a viable opponent for Manchester United on the day. And we've got to watch out. We've got to watch ourselves. We do. We have to watch ourselves. Of course, Fenerbahce coming off the back of a similar run of form over the past 5 games, rather than Manchester United, where we've won one game, drawn three, lost one. They've won two, drawn two. Drawn three. No, yeah, drawn two. Won two, drawn two, lost one. So fairly similar. Um, which, of course, in terms of playing against Turkish opposition, I feel like a very disjointed Man United team played against a better Turkish team and almost beat them twice. Um, and of course, it was our own downfalls, that our self-destruct, that ended up costing us wins against the better Turkish opposition in Galatasaray. Fenerbahce are not Galatasaray. Make no mistake about it. They are not Galatasaray, but they are set up defensively to contain threats. Threats, pressure, and opt to use dangerous players on the breakaway. They've got a suitable target man in Edin Dzeko. Bit of European pedigree. Definitely past his best days, but still with a bit of experience and knowledge and know-how. Of course, from his days from Manchester City. And places like Inter Milan as well. Can't forget Inter Milan. But other players in that team as well that can cause problems. They've got Dusan Tadic, I think Kostic as well. They've got a double midfield pivot of Sofian Amrabat and Pastor Fred, the old Manchester United, the old guard of Manchester United versus the current defensive midfields of Manchester United. So it's going to be an interesting story unravel before our very eyes. And whether Manchester United show that they've sort of moved on from that they are that they've got better midfielders now, I think is a big mission statement for Manchester United players that they need to, in a sense, prove to the fans and to themselves, really, that they are definitely players of better quality and that they've definitely moved forwards from those days of Fred being in the team. But also, of course, Amrabat as well, though Amrabat a lot more recent. Um, yeah, for me, it's just imperative that Manchester United we get a win. That we get a win under our belts. It's a must-win game in the context of the Europa League table, given that in the league format we are bottom half, I believe, in 21st place. 21st or 23rd? No, it's 21st place that we are. It's Fenerbahce up in 13th, but we do need to try and get ourselves into gear and get points on the board if we want to have any chance of finding a way into our knockout stage and getting into a chance of winning the trophy. Though it seems a bit unlikely that Manchester United at the moment will probably go on to win anything this season. I would like to see Manchester United try. Try. Just at the very least, try. And our group, or the league format, the league games, in terms of difficulty of opposition, the games get easier. The games definitely get easier. Porto, by far, the um, toughest team. Fenerbahce, um, yeah, actually say by far the best team. They're actually it's them and Fenerbahce probably up there as the two strongholds. Past that, it's a lot more rural teams, to be honest. A lot more rural. Um, Not really a major stable household name um, that we have to play against. So of course we're going to get more points, but we want to maximise as much as possible. 20 is, I'd probably say Fenerbahce are a better team than 20. I'd say that they are a better team. So for me, I've got to see Manchester United, really kick on from Saturday. Get 3 points in the bag, and get a couple goals, and make the game look comfortable. Don't don't give them a leg up, an entire stall. Stand over us, have the higher ground. Like we need to establish control on this game. We need to control everything proceedings from minute 1 to 90 and beyond there. It's imperative that we do that. Absolutely imperative. Because otherwise we're just going full circle, backwards and forwards, upwards and downwards, lefts and rights, and it's nothing. There's nothing consistent or stable about it. And one thing that Manchester United need to get out of the habit of doing is, going from 1 minute just absolutely, yeah, from 1 minute essentially looking like the best team in the world to the very next minute looking like the worst team in the world. And that's the one thing that I think is really unnatural about Manchester United, or really unnatural about a football team. I would just outright say a football team. Manchester United are not normal. They're not normal at all. So if we ever want to see, semblance of normalcy about Manchester United as a football club, just go from game to game and keep up the good stuff that you do from one game and do it again in the next, and just make it look like there's an idea, make it look like we've got a clue, that we know what we're doing, going from game to game, opposition to opposition, making it look like that there's a plan at play, because that's one of the biggest criticisms that Eric Ten Hag has. It's just constantly he's no style, no game plan, no idea. And if we want consistency, we've got to really we've got to pedal it. We've got to pedal ourselves into a prevalent position, where we do go and control games and beat the teams who are expected to beat, right? And step up, go up the gears in matching the better teams quality for, pound for pound, quality for quality. We have to do that. So Fenerbahce have players capable of causing damage. We have to be on our game. We have to be on our game, but ultimately, I expect to win. I expect us to beat Fenerbahce. The team is a bit of a confusing one. It's a very, very confusing one because given the fitness status of players, and of course the suspension to Bruno Fernandes from a double yellow card against Porto, um, it does pose the question with Casemiro sustaining a knock in the Brentford game, having to come off. Would we start Casemiro in this game, or are we thinking maybe Manuel Agarte? Well, Agarte came on as a substitution in that game. I think he directly replaced Casemiro as well. I think Agarte is probably most likely to start. We know Eriksen's playing, but where? Where is Eriksen playing? Is he next to Agarte in midfield? Is he further forward? And if he is further forward, who plays next to Agarte? But if Eriksen plays next to Agarte, who plays in the number 10? Because Mason Mount's not fit. I doubt he's going to be fit for this game. I doubt that there's really anybody else that we've got in the setup that would play effectively. From the midfield would play effectively in that position. I think a couple of names that might be suggestions. Joshua Zirkzee plays a target man and links up play well, maybe as a number 10 / second striker. Would Ten Hag want to attempt that? Maybe Amad Diallo, a player who can carry the ball well. Maybe hasn't got the most craziest range of passing, but knows how to, navigate tighter spaces. Maybe that's a plan. That's an idea. Um, but that's just it. Who do you play? Because if Eriksen plays further forward, I mean, does Collier play? I doubt Casemiro would be necessarily fit enough to start the game. I mean, can't play Kobbie Mainoo, he's injured. Who do you go with? I know that I think I can't remember who it is. Not Saidou Kone. It might be Saidou Kone, the youngster that we signed in the summer from that football academy place. Um, I know that he started training, and I think they did issue the statement before that the plan with him was that he would be more integrated into a first team picture rather than just sat in reserves football or under 21s football and expected to really find any levels in that regard. So it does pose a question: who does play, and what can we expect from this team? The defense, I think it's probably whether it sticks to how we had it against Brentford, or whether you change it and revert it to type with Mazraoui starting again and pushing Dalot to the left side. Whether you do that or keep the defence the same with Martinez on the left, Evans in the team, and Dalot on the right, with then what's his face? With then Mazraoui on the bench again. But he did come on for a couple minutes over the weekend, so that would insinuate perhaps that decision was made to push for a bit of match sharpness, although it's a couple minutes. You don't really get match sharpness from a couple of minutes. So yeah, I think probably the team that we're looking at. I reckon with Ten Hag, he's more opting for wanting more of his trusted players to do the job. So I can imagine that Mazraoui gets back in the team. Maybe Delo gets dropped. Maybe. I mean, I can't imagine that would happen. But maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't get dropped. Maybe he moves over to the left-hand side with Martinez and De Ligt being a Yasir centre-back partnership. We don't know with Ten Hag. He might drop De Ligt to the bench over caution and start Evans ahead of him. Possibly, maybe that would happen. I'm not overly sure. I think ultimately the team that I'd imagine there's changes that have to happen from the Brentford team, but also changes that you can make that would also make sense. I think midfield, you're forced to make the changes. Defence, the ball is in the court of the manager. As far as the scoreline goes, I said 2-1 against Brentford. I will probably go. I'll probably go again a 2-1. I think a 2-1. I think we've got a habit of conceding silly goals, and I think Fenerbahce will absolutely snatch a goal. And it will be all our own doing. It will be all our own doing. The goals we score, I think, again, maybe come down to moments of brilliance. And just moments. I'm not convinced that we will have everything we need to in the basket to really dominate this game. I think given that two factors, one, it's an away game. Manchester United don't necessarily control things in an away game per se, and two, it's just not in Manchester United's DNA at the moment. We're just not comfortable with not having consistency. Working, like doing well in Brentford against Brentford doesn't necessarily mean that you'll do well in follow-up games against Fenerbahce. I want to believe that we are definitely going to be competent at the very least to get the win, to get a result and to get points. Given that we are 21st in the table, so I think bottom half, whilst Fenerbahce up in 13th. I think they got their points from beating St. Gilles, Belgian club, but they drew also against 20. They drew against 20, so yeah, we need to start picking up points and picking them up now if we want any chance to get into the knockout stages of the Europa League. Past that, I think that is pretty much the fundamentals of what I'm expecting of the game. I know that it's more or less, it could pan out a very similar way, given that both management styles between Thomas Frank and Jose Mourinho do prioritise strong defence more so than anything else. So I think a very similar outcome. But I'll tell you what, the attackers from the Fenerbahce side, they could cause some serious damage. I mean, it's not every day that you go play against a Turkish side. Sorry, that was the you might have seen if you watched the first rendition of this video. I was holding up some green stuff. That's probably what that shit is. But yeah, the idea that Fenerbahce, people wouldn't expect much of a threat from a Turkish outfit. there's some players that will hurt you. I mean, I've already made the statement about Edin Dzeko, Dusan Tadic, Kostic, um, Cengiz Under, who is at the club, but he's out with an injury, guaranteed to miss. Cenk Tosun, from formerly Everton, and I think also Fulham. I think Fulham and Everton he played at, both of those clubs. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But Alan St. Maximin, he's over there. So viable threats. Former Newcastle player. Um, Definitely a difficult outfit. Difficult outfit. Not just them, as I've mentioned, Fred, Sofia and Amrabat as your midfield partnership. Plus, in the centre back position, they've got what's his face, the former Leicester City centre back. I've honestly completely forgotten what his name is. What is your name? What is your name? Tell me your name, fool. Fool, tell me your name. Soyuncu. That's it, Soyuncu. So yes, we got our work cut out for us. Some big names, big impact, and we've got to watch out. We've got to watch out. But let me know what you guys think about the prospect of the game on Thursday night. But also let me know what you would do with that midfield. Who are you starting where? What combinations are you putting on the team? What partnerships are you brewing up? And how would you opt to roll out the team against Fenerbahce? And what your score predictions are, of course. Aside from that, hopefully this time this shit actually works. Fingers crossed it works. And yeah, don't forget to like a second time and subscribe a second time. Yes, I'm telling you, unsubscribe and resubscribe again, and turn the notification bell on for the updates as well. And don't forget as well, tomorrow 8:30 p.m. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is when you'll next see me. And then followed up from that, we'll have the match reaction post game on Thursday night. So hopefully we are talking about a win once again for Manchester United for 2 wins on the spin. Fingers crossed. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evenings, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Be back here. I'll be expecting you. I'll be waiting for you. So we'll see. Come back and watch me if you want to live. Otherwise, I'll send a T800 in the shape of long-haired Yeti to your house. He'll come bomb your house. But aside from that, take care, enjoy your evenings, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, ciao.